Welcome to Waypoint of View. We're Jess and Myles, and we're on a worldwide journey to broaden our perspectives by putting ourselves somewhere new on the map. We have had an amazing past few weeks in the beautiful country of Georgia, and we're closing out our time here in another one of Georgia's incredible mountain regions.
We got to Stepantsminda yesterday, and we're going to be exploring here in the Kazbegi region over the next couple of days, and we're getting started today at the Gergeti Trinity Church.
This is probably one of the most iconic views in all of Georgia. The church sits above the town with Mount Kazbek in the background. It's a really popular day hike in itself, but we have our sights on a much longer hike today, so we drove up to the church and we're on the trail heading to the Gergeti Glacier.
This is honestly going to be a pretty challenging hike. It's about 10 miles round trip with roughly 5,000 feet of elevation gain all the way to the glacier. But a lot like some of our other hikes here in Georgia, we're not sure how far we're going to be able to make it based on how much snow is still on the ground. But it is a beautiful day, and this is exactly what we need after that Supra.
We're about halfway up, and so far this trail has been very steep, but the higher we get, the more and more layers of these mountains we can see, and Mount Kazbek has just come into full view. It is so beautiful. We found a spot to hide from this crazy wind, and it's time for lunch.
We are back on the trail, and it seems like this section is a little bit more gradual, but it also looks like we're going to be dealing with snow for the rest of the hike. Those are some deep holes. Oh. Well, we made it very close to the glacier, but the entire trail is covered in snow at this point, and it is getting very cold in this wind, so it's time to turn around. Today we are headed about 20 kilometers to Juta, which is another small village here in the Kazbegi region, and we are really excited about the place we found to stay tonight.
The place we're staying tonight is actually a little bit of a hike, so we have left our car in Juta and we are making the kilometer climb up the hill. And if I would have known how steep this was, I probably would have packed a little bit lighter, but I think it's going to be worth it. Check out this view.
We get to call this home for the night.
We are just going to relax this afternoon and enjoy this amazing view, and we have a big hike planned for tomorrow. Good morning, it's about 8:30 and we are on the trail.
We had a pretty early morning this morning because last night we slept with the blinds open, so naturally we woke up with the sun.
But this view is unbelievably beautiful, and our plan today is just to head up the valley towards Chaukhi Pass.
Not only have we had to deal with snow on the trails, but all the snow melt has definitely caused the creeks to rise quite a bit. So every area where the trail is supposed to cross is usually about knee deep in water.
We've just been making our way up the valley, following along the stream. We are now at the base of North Chaukhi Mountain, and this area often gets referred to as the Georgian Dolomites. It's easy to see why. It is so rugged, so beautiful. This has been a great hike so far. It's been pretty steadily climbing, but not too steep.
I think that's about to change though.
Yeah. If we attempt the pass, it's gonna get a lot steeper.
The further we go on this trail, the steeper it's going to get.
But like our other hikes here in Georgia, I don't know how far up we'll be able to make it with the snow. So my advice, if you're looking for serious hiking here with high mountain passes, maybe wait until a little bit later in the summer.
Late May, early June is a little early for higher altitude hiking here in Georgia.
Which has been fine
Yeah.
for us, honestly. And it allows us to prioritize eating.
Yeah. We have a whole loaf of bread in my backpack. Literally an entire loaf of bread.
Well, we don't intend to eat it all on this hike, but there was just no way to split it up.
High as we're gonna make it, but we found the perfect spot for a picnic. Loaf of bread, top of the pass. We're in Georgia. Loaf of bread wins out every time.
So the top of the pass is just behind us, up that way somewhere. I think we're about a mile from the top.
Yep.
Is that right? I think this is as far as we're gonna go, which means we will have not finished not even one hike in Georgia. Gergeti Lakes was the closest that we got, but even that we drove the first half, so that really doesn't even count.
Yeah, I mean, technically we were there. We were standing on top of what will eventually be a lake, but you're right. We drove half that hike. It's starting to rain. That came out of nowhere.
0% chance of rain today. Actually, I think it got up to 7%.
About as quickly as that storm came in, it blew right back out again, and we're back in blue skies. About halfway back to our place. We brought way too many things.
Fact.
We have never packed for one night of camping. With this
Well,
much
it
shit.
wasn't camping, so it was a different mentality when it came to packing.
It was like, hey, we're just walking to our hotel, but we should probably pack down to 2 bags. It was a hike-in camping hut. Sadly, it's time to start making our way back towards Tbilisi today, but before we leave the Kazbegi region, we're headed to check out the Truso Valley. There's a popular day hike there to a fortress, but from what we've read, it's also a jeep road, so we're going to try and drive it, or at least part of it, because it's a 20-kilometer hike, and we still have a pretty long drive ahead of us to Tbilisi today.
We have made it to Truso Valley, and this is the village where most people start hiking on the road, but we are going to see how far the car can make it. Hopefully this is not a bad idea. This road has all my favorite things. No guardrail, steep drop-offs, loose rocks. Are you sure we can't hike it?
So far, so good.
We've made it down off the steep section of the road, and I think we're about halfway at this point. And I have to say, not only is this canyon beautiful with a fortress at the end, but there are these really cool mineral springs that have created these colorful deposits leading down into the river. This reminds me of something you'd see in Yellowstone.
All right, we are headed up to the fortress. We were able to make it all the way with the truck. The road was honestly not that bad at all.
There was just that one section in the beginning with a steep drop off down to the river, and after that it was all pretty flat.
Yeah. Now we just have a short little climb to the top instead of a 20-kilometer hike. Man, we are getting lazy here in Georgia. This is a beautiful valley and a really cool fortress, but it's time to start making our way back to Tbilisi.
We're making our way back out of the valley, and we're coming up to the high, steep section, and the drop-off's going to be on my side this time. So I'm less than thrilled by that.
We should probably leave the camera going just so that others could hear all of the driving instructions that I get during these drives.
It's basically me telling him to go slower the entire time.
think that's the last time we're gonna need the four-wheel drive on this trip.
We are back on the paved road. I'm glad we got to justify the expense of the 4x4 one more time. But in all seriousness, it was definitely the right call for our road trip here in Georgia. Thank you, Solhan. And now we have about 3 hours back to Tbilisi.